I love doing that.
Not so loud,
Could we
please.
get a quieter gavel, please?
Okay. I guess we should do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I need to do the roll call first.
Oh, roll call first, okay.
Chair Robarts,
Here I am.
Vice Chair Fitzgerald,
Present.
Board Member Latowski,
Here,
Board Member Newstein,
here,
Board Member Edmondson,
Present.
Board Member Hayes,
Here.
Board Member Clements.
Present.
Chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. Can I have approval of the agenda? Any additions, deletions, revisions?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
I second it.
So moved? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Okay. Approval of the minutes. Minutes of September 14th. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve September 14th minutes.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. And the minutes of December 8th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of December 8th.
I second.
All those in favor?
I did read them.
Good, so moved. That was great. Public hearing prohibiting adult arcades, ZTA 2312. A city-initiated request for a zoning text amendment, amending Chapter 16, defining adult arcades, simulated gambling devices, and related terms, and prohibiting the operation of adult arcades. The proposed ordinance also amends Chapter 9, miscellaneous offenses, to prohibit the operation of all adult arcades. And just to summarize some of the things that came out when we discussed this before, if I'm not mistaken, those facilities that already have licenses would not be asked to close, am I correct?
Correct.
And if one closed, they could sell their license to another facility in the same place. But in the future, no future facilities would be granted new licenses.
Yes, Madam Chair, if you'd like, I can give you some more information on this ordinance. Okay. Christy Gatto on behalf of the City of Green Acres. This is proposed ordinance 2023-14. And I believe the ordinance you were referring to was the ordinance that was presented last to you, and that was the ordinance to prohibit medical marijuana dispensaries in the City of Green Acres. So this ordinance is very similar, you're correct about that. However, this one is proposing to prohibit the possession of simulated gambling devices and adult arcades that use such devices. So as you may know, currently, there's at least one entity within the city that provides these simulated gaming devices. And they can be a variety of different formats, but ultimately, what they do is they simulate that you're gambling, but because of the gambling laws that prohibit direct gambling, instead of winning like cash or a payout, they provide gift certificates or rewards that they can then cash in. From direction that we've received from administration, we've drafted this ordinance to now prohibit these adult arcades that use these simulated gambling devices on a go-forward basis. And as you mentioned, for those entities currently in the city that are lawfully permitted to have these types of devices and have an adult arcade, they're allowed to continue as a non-conforming use. If a new person takes over the entity's permitted use, they're allowed to continue to use it. There are special regulations that I think the attorney from our office went over with you last time about how non-conforming uses work, and there's specific regulations for those. But in essence, they'll be allowed to continue to operate. It's just that we won't see any additional entities providing this type of arcades or these types of gaming devices.
So very similar to the marijuana.
Correct, correct.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
In the definition of payoffs, the things that you mentioned sound like they are a certificate or some kind of, purchasing or getting some kind of a reward for winning. Sounds like a payoff to me. No?
Yes, in the definition of simulated gambling devices, it essentially means a device where there is a payoff directly or indirectly for the owner or operator of the device or their designee. So payoff would include money, credit, allowance, or additional chance to use the device. So it's included but not limited to. So if you're playing this type of device, then there's a variety of things that you get to encourage you to continue playing. Whereas typically in like an arcade, when you think about an arcade game, you put in your quarter, it's probably more now, and you play the game and then you're done.
Like a,
This is getting some additional payoff.
and I have one other question. It refers to a coin or token-operated mechanical musical. So you can't have a jukebox?
No, I believe those are the exceptions.
It says definition. Amusement device, we're on page 2 of 6. at the
Correct,
bottom.
correct. So the definitions, the way we've set out the definition is currently you have a definition of an amusement device. And this definition does not
Did not
include
I see it.
simulated gambling devices.
Okay, okay.
Now we're adding the adult arcade, which is essentially an establishment with one or more of the simulated gambling devices. And we've added the simulated gambling device definition.
Okay, got it.
I have a question.
Question? How many active adult arcade places are there in Green Acres now?
I'm aware of one, but I don't know beyond that.
I looked it up.
Is that the one that's almost ready to operate or is operating on Military Trail? Has he started operating or she?
The one that I know of recently came before council because it had a special exception and it moved from one unit
The same one?
Yeah.
to another unit.
Bigger facility.
Right, right. So that's the one I'm aware of.
That was about a year ago.
So that's new.
Well, before November of 23.
Okay.
Isn't
You know,
that
it's
what
kind
the-
of interesting because it's, I remember when it came before city council, it moved like next door to a bigger facility to expand, and that was approved. But it was a good thing, I guess, for them that it was approved then, because now it would not be under this.
Are they operating?
I don't know, are they operating?
I don't know. I don't know the
I
current
believe
status.
they are.
Yes?
They're one facility, I believe they are.
I have a question. When I read this, I Googled a number of adult gaming facilities in Green Acres, and it said top 10. And I went, oh, no. So I didn't know.
No, we have
That goes to show
one
you
that we're
can't believe
aware of.
what you get
What
from
did you
Google.
say?
We have one that we are aware of that legally we're aware of.
So it's
We
those
don't
ones
know.
that are on Google you're not aware of? No, I'm kidding.
I'm not sure how, now they might have, it might be the mailing address, Green Acres, not necessarily within the city boundaries.
Oh,
There's,
okay.
And,
I don't know what the search was, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're aware through our
Some guy
business
rented a
tax
question.
receipt record.
Put the stuff in.
I know a couple of years ago, the law changed because we used to have bingo in our clubhouse that was, a cash reward for, how bingo works. And we were informed at that time that it was not legal anymore. So we got rid of our bingo machine, and I think a lot of the other facilities did. Did yours also do that, Ann? Did you get rid?
No,
No?
have it.
I don't know whether we did it or not. I
No,
never
we have
played.
bingo
Well-
on Tuesday night.
Yeah, well, don't tell anybody because we were told that it's.
Is that true? That bingo,
we were
I
told-
thought like a church or a condo or something.
No, we were told, well, even though condo is, an HOA is a 401c3, but we were told that it was not, not legal any longer, and that money needed to be taxed, et cetera, et cetera. So we stopped doing it. If you're still doing it, then don't tell anybody.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yes.
Be forewarned, though.
Madam Chair, yeah, they did start cracking down on some gambling things. If you may recall, the adult arcade was a big issue a couple years ago, and the devices they were using, they started cracking down on because they really were true gambling devices. I think at that same time, they started also cracking down on for-profit entities having bingo nights and those types of things. So I think that's when the spotlight, came down on all those issues. There may be other entities and establishment within the city of Green Acres that currently have these devices or consider themselves an adult arcade as we have defined in the proposed ordinance, but they're not permitted. The one we were talking about has the special exception, so they are a non-conforming use, meaning that they're legally permitted. If you're currently operating and you don't have the correct permission to be operating, when this ordinance goes into effect, you would have to stop operating. I mean, technically, you'd have to stop operating now until you get the correct permission, but if you're not legally permitted when this ordinance goes down, for sure, you cannot be operating.
And also, they would have a business tax receipt, which the one we were talking about does, yeah. And that's the only one that we have issued to.
Is there any further discussion on this item? If not, I would like to call for a vote on, no?
Madam Chair, we have to open it up to public hearing,
Oh,
just
If there's anyone who
right.
wants to provide a public
in
comment.
case.
Nobody's present, so.
nobody's
So, okay.
present.
I didn't know if for formality we had to actually
Right, okay.
acknowledge your.
Anyone in the public
Since
choose
there
to
is no one
speak?
here.
Right. I can close the public hearing. Okay. Can I call for a vote on ordinance 2023-14 prohibiting adult arcades?
I make a motion that ZTA-23-02 be approved.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
No, that to me is like a draw for bad stuff.
Right, you're absolutely right. Okay, the next item is the public hearing CPA-23-03 to transmit the comprehensive plan evaluation and appraisal review amendments to the comprehensive plan goals, objectives, policies, GOPs, and supporting document. Denise?
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of PZAB. So the item that we have before you was put on the agenda, and we did the proper noticing as a public hearing. That was prior to City Council having the discussion at their last meeting, for which they did direct staff to do a workshop. That workshop has been scheduled now for November 2nd. So what I indicated in the email to you, this affords this board another opportunity to review in more detail all of the documents associated with the evaluation and appraisal review. Those would include the goals, objectives, and policies. The bigger element items are the ones that were provided to you in your packet in a strike-through underline format. Strike-through meaning the language that would be recommended to be deleted. Underline would be the proposed language for addition, representing the changes to the existing elements of the comprehensive plan. In addition, we have support documents and maps that are part of our map series. Those three items together comprise what will be coming before you with official transmittal. So you have an option today to postpone this item to your November 9th meeting, whereby you could do the vote at that time, which would be a recommendation to City Council. City Council would hear this item at their December meeting. It also would provide for an opportunity for us to, indicate what your comments are and provide that to council as well. So if you choose to do that, it would just mean that you would go forward with a vote to postpone this to a time certain, which would be your November 9th meeting here in the chambers.
Are we asked to attend that workshop?
That's totally up to you. I encourage, you always to attend if you have an interest in it and you want to hear what they have to say. If you're not able to, certainly we will relay to you what came out of that workshop.
And the reason for postponing the vote by us tonight is because we haven't had a chance to review it properly?
It would do, yeah, two things, and it would afford you, because there may be changes that come out of the council workshop. So it would allow you to see in its entirety what then we would be bringing back to council at the transmittal hearing. So that would be best for you to see the entire package and it be representative of what we then are, proposing to go forward to council.
And I assume before the November 9th meeting, we'd get an updated finished product of what comes out of that workshop.
Yes, actually, we're shortly will be providing the council members with the documents. So in preparation for their workshop, we can also provide them to you as well at that time. And then additionally, after the workshop, there will be an actual formal transmittal packet that you'll get and be able to review prior to
And
your
the date
November.
of the workshop again?
November 2nd.
And the time?
Oh, November 2nd.
Believe that it is at 6 o'clock here in the chamber. In the chamber. So, yeah, that's
Do we
the
need
last
a
that I
motion
heard.
to
It will
change
be
it from the
posted here
2nd to
shortly.
the 6th?
I'm sorry?
No, we're still going to be,
So you will have, your meeting is scheduled for November 9th. That would be a week after we have the council workshop. So on your November 9th meeting, we would be able to, in presenting to you the transmittal documents,
And
So
the
two
council,
Thursdays in a
council
row.
workshop is November 2nd.
November 2nd.
At what time? At 6
I think
also?
6 o'clock here in the chambers. I believe it just got finalized, so that's what I heard, last. That's when we're looking to do them.
Okay. I'm just-
So that's, the option afforded to you today. So we would bring, all of the documents together. You'll see it in its entire form. But I just want to say two things. I have next to me Gianni Geller, who is our new senior planner. You will be seeing him coming before the board with different matters. And we will be providing all of the documents, as I indicated before. The comprehensive plan as it currently exists includes all of the data and analysis and the goals, objectives, and policies for each element all in one. We're separating that out, and the data and analysis is going to become a support document. It won't actually be part of the official comp plan. It will be separate, and that allows us to keep it as a living document where we can update it regularly without having to go through an official comprehensive plan amendment. So we have made updates to the data and analysis. We're separating it out. So when you do get the packet to review more fully, you will get it in those sections. You will have all of the elements, goals, objectives, and policies. We have a map series, which includes maps that are required by Florida statute to include in the comprehensive plan. All of that together will be what, we transmit as the comprehensive plan. And also you will have as part of that the support documents, which are all the data and analysis documents for each element. You'll see them separated out, so.
Well, I want to thank you very
easier.
much for all the work that's gone into this. This is a lot.
Thank you. It's been a team effort. We're happy to be at this stage. We still have tweaks to go, but But if you have any questions in the meantime, you have the main elements with the strike-through underline version, please, give me a holler in the meantime. Be happy to assist with that. But it's the pleasure of the board whether, if you want to postpone the item, I highly suggest that you do, and I think it would be great to get the input, back to you from the council workshop.
So do I hear a motion to postpone?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it.
And Madam Chair, just for the record, so we will postpone item 4 to the next meeting on November 9th at 6 PM here in Changebirds at the City of Green Acres. Thank you.
And November 2nd,
Will be the workshop with the council.
And we are allowed to attend that
Yes,
workshop? It's not a closed
absolutely.
meeting?
Absolutely, it's a workshop.
Reading this, I would need a workshop.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I work for a Chamber of Commerce, but this is more
No, it'll be-
comprehensive than.
And when we come to you with the transmittal too, we'll go through it the more regularly. I know it's a lot of language. They have more big concepts. It's really trying to capture what our desired future outcomes are of how we want to, see the city, what we'd like to have. And again, it's a big picture view. As you know, the more specific language and one of the main implementing documents of the comprehensive plan is the land development code or the zoning code, so you see more specificity with that. This is the larger, bigger picture view. But we'll definitely, walk you through it. And then, like I said, if there's something that you have a question or you want us to provide more explanation to in the meantime, we're always available and happy to do that with you.
And my only question to you is if the council in its wisdom cannot come to a decision about whether to recommend this at that workshop, then I would assume that we would postpone our board meeting if they haven't come up with a final document.
Yes, so the workshop will be just a workshop. They won't actually, they'll give us input, but they won't have some official vote on it. Their transmittal hearing would be, the next meeting would be the first meeting of December. So there would be that time there as well. So, we could always see on the 9th if you felt that you wanted more time and to discuss it further before it goes to transmittal at the city council, we could have, some time between your November 9th meeting and the December.
And I assume at the 9th meeting that you will have a whole presentation.
Yes, we can, and we'll walk through it too. I can put it up on the screen and do, yeah.
We really need.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Will the,
It can be daunting in looking at it, but it's kind of themed, and this is what we're trying to achieve, and so this is what the policy says. It'll be more simple for you when we do
Thank
that.
you.
will we know what they didn't like?
Yes, at November 9th.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I think it's good
Will it
to
be-
discuss it more in-depthly at the November 9th meeting, so it can afford you to know what happened at the November 2nd council workshop. So we'll, generally go through
Specify that.
what came out of that workshop, so you know.
Are there any further items to be discussed? Anybody have any other input? Comments? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank